This is a massive, massive week in K-pop. One of the most highly anticipated releases of the year is here. Yes, I'm talking about Jungkook from BTS, his solo debut. He gave us an entire album, 11 songs. It's called Golden. I love the title. We all know he's the golden boy. If you're not familiar with Jungkook, you're probably the one person in the entire world who doesn't know who he is at this point. But Jungkook debuted with mega group BTS in 2013 under Big Hit Entertainment. So he's been doing this for 10 years. You know, I talked about Taemin last week, how he's been a solo artist for 10 years. He's been in the industry for 15 years. Jungkook is following his path. He's a little bit younger than Taemin, but he's already been doing this for 10 years. Finally, a solo release from him, solo album. We had two pre-releases. He had Seven, which featured Lotto, and then he had 3D, which featured Jack Harlow. You all know my thoughts on 3D. I reviewed that a few episodes ago. Go find it if you want to hear my full review. But needless to say, I was less than impressed. It wasn't my favorite thing, and I've been really concerned about what Jungkook was going to put out with this album because to me, you know, it felt like we were kind of lowering the bar musically to fit into a Western audience. And I hate too many features unless it really adds to a song. I always find it kind of like, eh. So I was a little bit worried, guys. I was worried coming into this. The title track is called Standing Next to You. I was so concerned. I thought I was just really, really worried I was going to hate this one. And I don't. I love it. I love the song. I'm so pleasantly surprised. I'm sorry for doubting you, Jungkook. I'm sorry for doubting you. This song is a hit. I'm obsessed with it. To me, it's like head and shoulders above 3D and 7. This is so much better. And I think what they did there was kind of introduce Jungkook to the general public. Those songs are radio friendly. They sound like stuff that's already on the radio here in the States and in the Western world. So it was a way to kind of introduce him, like baby steps for people who don't know who he is and definitely aren't K-pop fans. I get it. Now it's international superstar. Now it's not just pandering to an American audience. With this song, this is international superstar. Standing Next to You, to me, it's like Michael Jackson meets Daft Punk. I love, love, love this sound. I'm partial to this type of music. And this shows off what Jungkook can do. This is what I was waiting for because I think what we've heard so far really doesn't showcase his talent and his vocals. Here, we're getting runs, we're getting range, we're getting the Jungkook experience. I'm so here for it. I'm so happy. I love the intensity at the beginning of the chorus and then that smooth groove. There's such a smooth groove to this. His runs during the second verse, phenomenal. The melody too is challenging. This is a really challenging melody vocally, and he just glides right through it like it's nothing. And again, we shouldn't be surprised if you're a fan, you know what he's capable of, but this is not an easy song to sing. And he's just out here killing it. And he's done a few live performances now. The Fallon performance was phenomenal. He's killing it and he's showing why there's so much hype around him and why he is kind of the next big international superstar. The bridge, the bridge in this song, they're my horns. Let's go. I love the horns. I love the bridge in this song so much. This song I feel like was made for me. This is perfect. It's everything I love. Musically, you all know I'm more of kind of an R&B type of gal. I love this. This is Rock With You, Michael Jackson. I get it. I love it. And I think it was so well executed. This should be a huge hit. It's infinitely better than 3D. And if it doesn't get a lot, I'm just going to say this. If Standing Next to You doesn't get a lot of radio play, there's zero reason for that outside of perhaps some racism. I would say xenophobic, but like this is an all English song that sounds like a Michael Jackson song. So the only reason it wouldn't get American radio play, in my view, it's because it's a guy from Korea and it's racism, period. There's no other reason. Because if they're playing Seven, which has Lotto on it and it's getting radio play, and if they're playing 3D, which has Jack Harlow and it's getting radio play, why wouldn't Standing Next to You get radio play? This song is a hit. It's so radio friendly. You can't tell me the song's not radio friendly. It's the right length. It's cool. Yes, there's a lot going on in that melody at points, but then it breaks and you've got this really nice groove. It's dynamic. This should be a massive hit. And I'm going to be so freaking mad if this doesn't do the numbers that those previous two songs did, because it deserves it more than those songs. This is the song. I'm so, so, so happy this was the title track. I think it's brilliant. Brilliant. Obsessed. This is exactly what Jungkook should be doing. And he knocked it out of the park. His team knocked it out of the park. This whole thing. Love it. Love the song. And I'm not surprised, actually, because when I looked at the songwriters, there's a songwriter in the song named Alexandra Tamposi. And she wrote huge pop hits. Like back in the day, she did Stronger by Kelly Clarkson. She did Havana, Camila Cabello. And she also did one of my favorite songs, 5 Seconds of Summer, Youngblood. So one of the songwriters on all of those songs is on the songwriting list for Standing Next to You. It makes sense. This song is a hit. Love it. Gotta talk about the music video. A Superstar is Born. It's simple. It's not a typical K-pop video, but it didn't feel as dumbed down to me as like 3D. That felt very TRL, early 2000s, basic. This felt superstar, but really the focus is on him. And that's the way it should be. He's in this like old building on an old stage with dancers, and there's a beautiful woman watching him, and that's pretty much it. There's fight scenes kind of towards the end, and I got the feel of like a gangster vibe. It felt kind of gangster, like all these guys in suits fighting, and they all show up in their limos. You know, when the dons of like a mafia family show up and meet, that's what this felt like. And maybe Jungkook's the leader of it, and that's his girl, just watching him destroy the world with his handsomeness and dance moves. I'm not quite sure, but I thought it was really, really effective. And again, he's the star. Just like on the song, he doesn't need a feature. In the music video, we didn't need a lot happening. All you need is him dancing, because the choreography for this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This is Michael Jackson. This is difficult, amazing choreography. That bridge choreography is insane. But there's also little moments like when he starts the second verse and he's just shuffling, doing like a simple move with rhythm. Jungkook's so good. This is why he's the golden boy. He's so good at so many things. When I used to do on my last podcast, New York City K-pop Queens, we started something, your group fantasy, like your ultimate fantasy K-pop group. Not going to say we invented the idea, because I'm sure somebody did it before us, but this is maybe like 3 years ago, and now I've seen it everywhere. Every podcast seems to do it every week. We did it a long time ago, and then we updated it throughout the years. And every year, my number one pick was Jungkook. He's who I took number one. I think he's like vocally, face, dance, charisma. You want him in your K-pop group. He's a superstar, and he's finally getting to prove it. How exciting is that? Like, I loved this music video. Simple styling. We don't need crazy outfits. It's simple. It's definitely shorter pants, Michael Jackson. He looked so handsome. I liked the fast cuts when that melody picks up and has a little bit of chaos. I liked it when he was wearing a suit with angel wings. This is why this was my first ever bias in K-pop. The first guy that drew me in, I'll never forget seeing him doing DNA. He was wearing that like red and blue jacket. Yeah, this is why this was my bias. And I became obsessed with K-pop and why I'm here doing this. It's this man. It's Jungkook. He's a superstar and he's so handsome in the music video. I love this music video. A lot of times simplicity is better. When you have the talent, this was so well executed. Again, I've been hard on Jungkook's team. I haven't liked some of this stuff. I'm happy to eat my words, at least for the single and the music video. This is phenomenal. This is superstar stuff. And again, if it doesn't reach the heights that it should, I don't have any other excuse besides racism, besides people trying to keep Asian artists out, because everything about this is a superstar. And I think if someone else put out this song and this music video, it would do amazing numbers and have the attention of the world. So I'm hoping and praying that this does as well, because he's a star. He's a superstar. He's a bright, shining star, and he deserves everything good that's coming his way. I loved this single and the music video. It's like they did kind of the cheap tricks of like, let's get some mid-American rappers to get us radio play. Okay, this guy's cool. And then all of a sudden, this guy's like so much better than you. Like, this guy's a superstar. He stands on his own and he's here to take over the industry. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Amazing. But we have to talk about the full album. He gave us 11 songs, and this is an English album. And I'm going to go ahead and say this is a pop album. This isn't K-pop, which is interesting because Bang PD just did an interview saying he wants the K removed from K-pop and he just wants it to be pop. I think that's incredibly short-sighted. I understand what he's saying. Like, this is a pop album, but there's room for K-pop, and there's a reason so many of us love K-pop and gravitated towards it. So I understand there's a real conversation to be had, but I wouldn't categorize this as K-pop. I categorize this as a pop album. It reminds me of Monsta X, their English releases. Those were much more just pop than K-pop to me. And what I mean by that is they're more universal pop sound, style. They don't have the elements that a lot of K-pop songs have. And then obviously the language, but you can sing an English song that still sounds like a K-pop song. You can sing a Korean song that sounds like a pop song. But I think when you do all English and it sounds like a Western song, to me, that kind of takes away from the K-pop title. So Golden is a pop album. It's pure pop. And he gave us a lot of different things. I think there's something for everyone on this album. And he did an amazing interview in The Atlantic, if you guys haven't read it, kind of talking about how he's ready to be a superstar, a pop star. And he mentioned not writing anything on the album. Because, you know, that's something people bring up. I talk about groups writing or not writing and why that's impressive. But he kind of said he's not confident in his songwriting skills yet. So he didn't want to do that. He kind of knows how to pick his battles. And for this, he was just going to focus on his vocal performance and the other aspects as an artist. You all know how I feel about Stray Kids writing, producing, mixing, arranging their music, and how I think that's really impressive. At the same token, everyone doesn't have to do that. My only criticism is when certain fandoms come at me saying, well, my favorites write all their songs too. No, they don't. So that's where I get a little, let's be clear here. But I talked about Taemin last week. I think Taemin is a phenomenal artist. Taemin's not writing any of that, but he knows who he is. He knows what songs to pick. He knows what he wants to do. That's fine. I don't think there's any problem with Jungkook not writing these songs. This is a really carefully crafted debut. Nothing wrong with that. So I just want to put that out there. He didn't write these songs. Who cares? If it's good, it's good. These are my album picks of the 11 songs. Hate You, Shot Glass Full of Tears, Too Sad to Dance. Those are the ones that stood out to me the most, but I will be honest, my rankings of this album have gone all over the place since I listened to it. I've had less than a week since it came out for me to do this review. There's a lot of good stuff on here, and I think why I keep going back and forth There's stuff that I gravitate to musically, so I might like this song more than this one. But then listening to the album over and over again, I could understand, oh, but this is a good song. If you're into this style, this is a good song. Or maybe this one, if you're into EDM, this is a good song. So those are really my picks based on my personal taste, and my rankings have changed. We need to talk about Hate You. Jungkook is so good at emotional delivery. He's always understood that. I think his performance in BTS, he always has kind of understood how to deliver an emotional ballad. And like, think about Truth Untold. Truth Untold, all of the singers in BTS do a great job in that. And when you see it live, there's a moment with V, with Tay, that I was always like really taken aback. Jungkook is so consistent in his emotion. He's able to convey emotion very well. And I really wanted that. I wanted the tenderness. I wanted that thing where it almost sounds like he's going to cry when he sings a song, because he's done a lot of covers throughout the years that we've been blessed to see where he does that. So, boy, was I happy with Hate You. And then I was bawling my eyes out within 10 seconds. This one has Shawn Mendes on the writing team. Woo, it is heartbreaking. This is a heartbreaking song. I don't know if it's about his ex, Camila Cabello, but oh my goodness. If it is, ooh, girl, you put him through it. This one, wow. The lyrics are so stunning. And it starts off with this like kind of chime, really interesting, delicate instrumentation. And then he goes into this verse. And I'm just going to read a few of the lyrics because I think it's so well done. I wish you went behind my back and told me lies and stuff like that. I wish you kissed someone I know and did the unforgivable. Maybe hating you is the only way it doesn't hurt. So I'm going to hate you. I'm going to hate you and paint you like the villain that you never were. Going to blame you for things that you don't do, because hating you is the only way it doesn't hurt. I can't even read the lyrics without crying. I can't even read the lyrics without crying. That is like, it's such a specific pain. It's such a specific, like, sorry. I don't know why I'm like so emotional. Reading out loud, I guess. I'm so sorry. That like caught up to me. It's weird because I bawled my eyes out the first time I heard the song, but I wasn't expecting to cry, like reading the lyrics. Sometimes when you read something out loud for some reason, like, uh, that was like my 10 things I hate about you, where she reads that poem about like, I don't hate you. Yeah, that just caught up to me so much because I think those are such like, oh my goodness. Ugh. It's such a like specific sad thing, you know? It's easier to hate someone than to just sit in the heartbreak. So you're going through a breakup where the person just doesn't love you anymore and doesn't want to be with you, and wishing that they did something, that they cheated and lied and did the traditional like this person sucks actions. So you had a reason to hate them, because it's hard to just hate somebody only because they don't love you. Ugh, perfect. Kudos to the songwriters. This is so beautiful. It's so beautiful, very specific yet universal. Those are hard songs to get right, and they got this one right. Obviously, I love it. It makes me cry. I think it's so beautiful. And his performance of it is fantastic. It's so, so stunning. So I'm a massive fan of this. I love it. Um, it's short, it's radio friendly, it's relatable. When I first heard this, I thought, this is Jungkook's Falling by Harry Styles. I'm sure most of you know that song. It's a great song. This is Jungkook's Falling. I think we're going to hear a lot of idols covering it in the future. This is the song. People are going to cry at the concert, clearly. Can't believe I did that. I swear I'm not going to cry every episode, you guys. And I'm not like an emotional mess. I just, I'm super sensitive. I'm like my friend Lamar, his album is called Highly Sensitive Person. I'm highly sensitive, and art and music moves me a lot. So yeah, Apologies for that. I wasn't expecting that. That was a little weird. I just get like so moved by music. It's everything to me, and this and art and poetry, and I just loved that. That was just a very specific, oh, yeah, what a feeling. I hope they push this one hard. I would love to see this one push because again, it's radio friendly and it's really specific and like relatable. Um so yeah, I loved that one. I think Shot Glass Full of Tears, it's the ending track. So on this album, they're telling a story, and I do appreciate that. It's not just random songs. They tell the story from meeting the person and falling for them, hooking up, dating. Oh no, things are starting to go bad. Break up, I don't care. Break up, I'm heartbroken. Now I've got Shot Glass Full of Tears. I like that title. I like that title. Shot Glass Full of Tears. Perfect. That's painting a picture. And it's just kind of that like sitting in the pain. You know, he's not in the I'm going to hate you crying himself to sleep every night, but I pictured like it's been months since the breakup. And he's saying, am I ever going to feel again? Am I ever going to breathe again? Like it's just still, it still sucks and it's still painful. And heartbreak in all shapes and forms can do that to a person at times. So I liked it. It wasn't like the wailing in pain. It was more of the subtle out drinking with friends. He's got a shot glass full of tears. Well written song. I also really liked Too Sad to Dance. And it's funny because upon first listen, I was like, this is good. And then the more I went back to the album, I was like, this one has a nice story and a nice hook. And it reminds me musically a lot of Justin Bieber's Love Yourself. This reminds me of that. There's a very similar sound, phrasing, vibe, and it sneaks up on you and stays in your head. It's a good pop song. And I think this almost has like a little bit of a country feel, you know? There's a little bit of a country pop vibe here that works. I think that works. And maybe also Shot Glass Full of Tears. That's a country title if I've ever heard one. There's a little bit of country seeping in here. I'm not mad at it. I think it works. I like these songs. Yes or No is a good one. I didn't mention that in my features, but that's one that I see sticking out quite a bit. A lot of people love that one. It's very, very pop. I think Yes or No is like, to me, the song that BTS fans are going to like the most because it sounds familiar. This would also be very appealing to the general public. Ed Sheeran was on the writing team for it. It's a very familiar melody. I saw some like Taylor Swift fans saying he stole the melody from her. And what's funny is it didn't take long for someone to respond with what I was going to respond with. No, if that's true, then she stole that from Usher. You Got It Bad. That's like, first of all, You Got It Bad by Usher. That song slaps. If you've never listened to that song, go listen to it. But that part in the verse that might sound familiar, for me, that's where that was from. That's an Usher song from like early 2000s. And then Taylor Swift has a song that's a little bit slowed down with a very similar rhythm. And now Yes or No has that. I think this song in general is a little generic. That's not a good or bad thing. Again, this has mass appeal. So I understand why a lot of Army and why a lot of people like Yes or No. You've got a couple EDM songs here. You've got Major Lazer on one. You have DJ Snake on Please Don't Change. I think Please Don't Change is probably my favorite of those two. But you have EDM. You have a little country tinge. You have pure pop. You've got pop R&B. You've got pop hip hop. There's a lot of different stuff here in a really, really good pop album. I think this is a good album. I was so pleasantly surprised when this came out. I was so pleasantly surprised listening to it last Thursday night. I thought, this is so much better than I was expecting. They tricked me, but what a nice trick. What a good trick. I'm excited for Jungkook. I like this. I think he knocked it out of the park. He deserves everything that's coming to him. He will be like the biggest international solo star in the world. I truly, truly believe that. That's what they've set up for him, and he's doing everything he needs to do to get there. I like this. I like this. Standing Next to You is obviously my vibe. I would have been happy with that tone throughout the whole album, but I understand what they're doing. They've assembled songs to give JK an album that appeals to the masses. This is a very calculated debut. They all are, but this one more so than any I can think of in recent memory. They did everything that they could do for a pop album that appeals to the masses. Excited to see if it works. I'm really curious where this is going to debut. I came in thinking he'll definitely get number one, but he's battling it out with Taylor Swift. You can't ever count her out. So we'll see. I think streaming is going to be massive. As of sales, he's not going to get there. It'll be announced by the time this podcast comes out, but I'm recording it a day before the chart drops. So I'll keep you updated. Follow my social media for that stuff. I also am so really quick before I get to my rankings. I'm happy they didn't do features. There were no other features on the whole album. So those first two songs tricked us, and now the whole album's just Jungkook. Love it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's time for my rankings. From my least favorite to my favorite songs on Jungkook's debut solo album, Golden. Let's get it going. There's 11 songs. Number 11, 3D. Number 10, 7, the clean version. Number 9, 7. Number 8, Closer to You. Number 7, Please Don't Change. My number 6 song, Yes or No. Number 5, Somebody. I love that we couldn't tell it was JK at the beginning, singing that low register. Number 4, Too Sad to Dance. Number 3, Shot Glass Full of Tears. Number 2, Hate You. My number 1 song. It was the right choice. It's the right song. This song is a hit. Please support it. Standing Next to You. JK, you killed that. So proud. Congratulations to Jungkook and his whole team. Knocked it out of the park. This is such a good song. Really strong debut. Support. If you're Army, if this is your guy, support him. He killed it. If you're multi like me, support him. He killed it. Great album. So proud of you, Jungkook. And congratulations to him too on Jimmy Fallon, on the Today Show. The appearances he's done, he's killed it. He's really put on good performances. Massive shout out to the English pronunciation. His pronunciation is really good on this album. And I thought it was amazing watching him do the interview with Jimmy Fallon. His English has gotten so much better. If you've tried to learn Korean, you know how hard it is. So for these guys to learn English, it's the same thing. Going English to Korean, Korean to English, I don't think it's easy. He's really put in a lot of work and it shows. So congratulations to him. I hope he can exhale and enjoy all of this. I think like Jungkook is really hard on himself. I noticed today they did the Today Show thing. I'm recording this on Wednesday. He apologized to his fans after the performance for messing up and says he'll do better next time. He promises he won't let them down. I'm not even sure what he was talking about. From what I saw, it was great. So he's so hard on himself. It's why he's so good. But I hope he gets a chance sometime soon or maybe in the future to realize how good he is, how amazing the product he puts out is, and how we're all just very proud and supportive. You killed this. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Exhale. Deserved.